So what up, young scholars? It's your boy, the extra large professor, and I'm here going live talking about the Bachelor episode, in particular, Matt James confronting his father. First and foremost, I want to say this. I've heard a lot of criticism with about the producers, and people are saying like, well, did they exploit this situation with Matt and this absentee dad? Or does this promote racial stereotypes and that sort of thing? I want to first and foremost, as a person that covers hip hop and fatherhood, I just really want to give my take on it. And I'll just say this. I don't know what's in the heart of the producers. I don't know. I mean, we know that reality TV is certainly not reality. We know that a lot of things are scripted and that sort of thing. And we know that Hollywood has had a long history of promoting stereotypes, especially when it comes to black and brown manhood and that sort of thing. But I think we're missing the whole point. First and foremost, I want to blow up the myth right away that shows that black fathers are absentee out of their kids' life. And a lot of that comes from the fact that many African American fathers are oftentimes in unwed liaisons and that sort of thing. But experts like Josh Leaves in the book All In talk about that black fathers, more than any other race in this country, is more involved in the everyday process of their kids, whether they live at home or not. They are more likely to give their kids baths, more likely to spend time with them, to do homework, to be involved with every facet of their children's life. And this has been going on for quite some time. So, that myth is out the window. And that's not even the whole point that I really want to focus on. What I want to focus on is the fact that first and foremost, I have to give Matt James a lot of props for having the courage to have a tough conversation with his dad that had to be really hard to do. But I also want to really focus on, for those absentee dads out there, I really want you to take and learn some lessons from Matt James' dad. First and foremost, when you are an absentee dad, or you have been a dad that has inflicted some sort of trauma, whether that be abuse or verbal abuse, psychological abuse, anything, when you are a father that has done that, what you have to do when your child has this tough dialogue, you have to stand in the gap with the child. That means that the child at this point wants a listening ear, and you just have to listen. First mistake that Matt's dad made was he blamed the other parent. When you're trying to mend a relationship that has been broken from absenteeism or whatever trauma, the first thing that you cannot do is blame the parent that has been more consistent. Because even if that parent has done some things like maternal gatekeeping, whatever, you have to understand that the bond with that child is so deep that if you attack the other parent, it's like you're attacking the child. So that was his dad's first mistake. His second mistake was then trying to share his broken story at the same time that Matt was trying to share his. So in other words, the dad was like, well, I didn't have a dad in my life. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. You are not trying to compete with your child in the trauma Olympics. You cannot do that. You can't say that my situation was worse than yours, because what it does, it makes it to make that child seem like you're saying, get over it. Like it's in the past. Why do you keep talking about it? No, that child needs to keep dealing with that until they're able to heal. And so even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, As a dad, if you are the perpetrator of absenteeism or the perpetrator of any type of abuse, you have to be willing to relive that with your child and just stand there in the gap and help them to get through it. Yes, it hurts. Yes, you feel the shame. Yes, you feel the guilt. But remember, you inflicted that. So you have to stand in that with that child and help that child to heal. Now, realize what I'm saying to you. The ultimate goal is for your child to heal. Now, what I would say, if you do not have the tools to help your child to heal, go to local mental health facilities. They have some that's pro bono, that's free, that will work with you. You have to get the tools that you need. And you also maybe even have to go in therapy with the child so that the child will learn like what it is that he or she needs to move forward to heal. That's your responsibility as a dad to do those sort of things. You cannot just say, hey, forget about it or get over it, because that child relives that trauma on a daily basis and it impacts that child well beyond the time that you inflicted that violence. I would say what the Bachelor did was give an example of how to have this tough dialogue, to give the example of Black men being able to show emotion other than anger. And I hope this will be a lesson, regardless of race and class. I hope that will be a lesson for us all to learn how to engage in tough dialogue, how to take ownership of it. And I just thank the Bachelor, Matt James, for doing that. Again, like I said before, these are tough conversations that we have to have. But as dads, it is our responsibility to change the narrative of fatherhood, especially for us as Black dads who have dealt with so much historical trauma and that sort of thing. Our biggest life mission should be changing the narrative of fatherhood. This is the extra large professor, and I'm out.